not bore ourselves with this, Will. Let's get into something a little bit spicier, not about what the models can and cannot do. Sam Altman has said adult users are going to be able to see some erotica.
Welcome to the Vibe Flow with Jordan and Will. Let's go. Tech news and AI trends. Tune in now with your friends.
Will Bewley, how are you?
Very good, Nemro. How are you?
I'm doing well, man. We had a great offsite last week. Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, sorry we weren't recording a Vibe Flow, but we had a great time. A great time in the high desert of Oregon.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was the first time we haven't recorded an episode in a week in what?
Months.
A couple months. We were on a great cadence there. We almost missed today as well, and that's because we're kind of starting to get bored of the news. Everything's just like new models, and even though they're getting better and it's more awesome, I feel it's just
there's only so many new models you can wrap your head around.
Yeah, but we're here. We're gonna talk about a few of them, and then we're gonna spice it up a little bit. You know, it's new models and also some new policies on the models, which get a little spicy. So let's jump in. Veo 3 from Google has now launched Veo 3.1. Oh my God. Look at that. Veo 3.1. Is it that much better than 3? I don't know. I haven't used it. I've been in Oregon at an offsite. I'm sorry, but let's check it out.
One of the first images they have is a cowboy. So I was very happy about that.
I like that. I don't know. Have you played with Veo 3 a lot, or it was
it was just hard to get to as well. This is also launching like some updates to Flow, their studio, because it was like kind of difficult to just get to the Veo 3 model.
I remember I made some videos like a few weeks back in one of the pods, and I had to go to like their labs, and then I was like in Gemini. And I had to like click a bunch of stuff just to be able to get
the cowboy.
Oh, there we are.
So I mean, it seems like always with Google, it's just really difficult to get to their latest models. It's like they're trying desperately for us not to be able to use them.
Yeah.
But this promises to be a really cool advancement. They announced a few different features, one called Ingredients, where it seems like you can add reference images. And so what I have seen on the timeline are some folks using this already, where they go and first produce an image with like Nano Banana of like exactly what they want. And then they use that as a reference image to make the video, to like kick off the video. This enables things like character control, which has always been like a huge deal with videos and with imagery as well. So if you want the same consistency of character, I suppose you can now do that here. The other piece as well that I saw that they did was you can provide a starting image as well as an ending image. And so if it's a 30-second clip, you can actually have it like finish in a certain image. And I think that means you can probably stitch a bunch of videos together because the start and the end are going to be known frames. So you can build from that. So you can actually theoretically make really long videos of just a bunch of smaller videos stuck together. So I think it was super cool. There's more control as well. I think they call it insert or delete. And I think you can actually, so sometimes, you know, you're working with some of these AI tools, it goes and adds an item or like a weird like extra arm or something like that. And you can actually go and tell it to like delete that artifact from the video. And so that's pretty cool. So like you might have really prompted something super nice and then all of a sudden adds just like 2 moons in the sky. You're like, what the heck? So you can like tell it to delete a moon and it'll keep the video. It will just remove that artifact, or you can add an artifact. So now you're like, all right, now I need a Gucci handbag, and then it'll like stick a handbag in there. So I think you can do stuff like that with it. So I'm excited to play with it. It seems like there's just much more, rather than just like a text to prompt video editor, we now seem to have way more functionality of like how to make videos. And I think that makes it much more usable than what it was. So like the quality is probably still the same as Veo 3. That's why it's not Veo 4. But I think it's like all the extra features are what's going to make this actually a tool that can go and build really interesting, exciting videos.
It's like it's adhering to instructions more, or it's more controllable. So you're able to actually get a little bit more of what you want, as opposed to it just going off and making whatever it wants with just direction. So it's more focus, more control, as opposed to just like one direction and go.
Yeah. And I think like the text to video era, that's a good starting point, but then you want to fine tune along the way. And I think the features or the tools to do that aren't necessarily more text. They're actually other things. Like it's like, oh, insert an image now, or Maybe I don't even know if it has it, but like maybe the delete is like a tool, like you can actually like cross over and delete it. That'd be cool. I don't know, but yeah, certainly it's like giving more power features to people that don't just want to like keep in the prompt, just like keep adding more stuff into a prompt.
Makes sense. So it's not just Google that are improving and adding new models. Anthropic as well has dropped 4.5.
Haiku 4.5.
Haiku 4.5. They also dropped Sonnet 4.5 for you coders out there, and that is what I am currently using both on Cursor and on Claude Code. Again, like I love it. More like better models.
How is it? How does it compare, do you think?
I don't know. I just always expect superior models. So it's not, I'd say it's nothing that's blowing me away. I feel like the things that have been blowing me away lately, or that I guess get more immediate gratification from, is actually the like applied AI. So I expect the models to be great, and they're only getting greater, but how we're using them, how we're actually integrating them into products, how it's orchestrating those AI models is actually what's like really incredible lately. In Cursor, there's like great new planning functionality where it kind of lays out a plan. It tries to follow the plan exactly. Same thing in Claude Code. I will also add one more thing here. There's another model that's come out, but it's stealth. We don't know whose model it is, but let me show you. Okay, for those of you who don't know, this is Cursor. And I just said hello. I opened up a new chat.
Can you zoom in?
Let's see. Let me zoom in. Oh boy, can I? Okay, look at this. So this is where you get to decide if it's an agent. This is the new thing I was just explaining. You can plan some stuff where you can ask questions. This is where you pick your model. What model are you using? I'm using Claude 4.5 Sonnet. What is this? I don't know. Stealth model from an undisclosed provider.
And Cheetah as well.
Is this also undisclosed?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even see this. Cool. Look at that. 2 stealth models. I haven't used them. I'm afraid to.
The speculation is Cheetah is a XAI model. I don't know what Supernova is. This one is interesting. This one's free, whereas the Cheetah one actually has like a price for how many tokens it is.
$10 for output tokens. Let's see, what is 4.5? Oh, it actually doesn't tell you what the cost is.
Yeah.
That's right.
But that one's free.
Pretty cool.
But it's a 1 million context window, which is pretty insane.
I feel like I guess that's true, but the context windows are becoming slightly more irrelevant, because if you load your context window with 1 million tokens, it's going to suck. It doesn't know how to actually handle it.
I don't know. I think you might need to try Supernova.
Unless maybe Supernova's broken the barriers on that, which would be pretty cool. Anyway.
Yeah.
Again, it's like, this is just every day. New models coming out. Everything's getting better. It's not even news. Like
I think there's a couple of thoughts on that. I think firstly from Claude, they keep showing that they're like very peak coding. They're like one of the best coding state-of-the-art models, and I think they're saying it's 2x faster and a third cheaper. And so like as we see this curve of performance, it seems to be like maxing out. To your point is like, I'll always use the top model, but I don't actually care necessarily what the top model is, but I'll keep using it. It's going to get cheaper over time to continue using it. It's going to have bigger context windows, cheaper output tokens, and things like that. But are we reaching a point in coding specifically of like diminishing returns? Like, do you think 5 is going to be dramatically better for you? Or do you think it's, to your point about like applied AI, it's actually how long could it go off and think on its own and do things? Like they're all going to be pretty much the same at writing the code.
I think it's applied. I think it's going to require the models to get better, but I don't think you're ever going to have a moment like you did on like, seeing 3.5 was truly insane. And then seeing 4 was a dramatic jump in intelligence. 4.5, less so. 5, much less so. They're getting better, but there's no like, aha, this is crazy.
Your expectations are keep increasing.
Exactly, yeah. But the way that we're applying it really is what's helping us like compound our productivity, I think. And so that's what is exciting me the most. But I will say the models have to keep up, right? Like without the models getting better and cheaper, we won't be able to use as much of the applied AI. So it takes both of them, but the applied is definitely what is exciting me more. But let's not bore ourselves with this, Will. Let's get into something a little bit spicier, not about what the models can and cannot do, because realistically they've been able to do this forever. Well, not forever, but since the multimodality of the models, being able to create images. It's always had some pretty intense guardrails. Still see, even when I ask it to make me a picture that's like something just so innocent, sometimes I can't do it. It's violating policy. It's inappropriate. I'm like, because it has a toilet in it. I don't know. I'm confused. But Sam Altman has now said adult users, again, remember adults only, are going to be able to see some erotica. There we go, some erotica. So I don't know. What do you think? Where do you think it's going to go? Are we talking like full nudity? Or is this going to be just like, it's finally going to allow you to have like a picture of lingerie or something?
I don't know if it's pictures or it's text. Erotica to me is like the written word, maybe. I don't know. The thing is that this blew up very recently. People were very, how dare you? This is, where is it going? We talk about AI slop a lot. This is, do we need more of this stuff? And probably the answer is no. But I think their perspective and Sam's perspective is, and he's come back and he's like clarified this. He says, we are not the elected moral police of the world. And so it's like his point of view is very much like, hey, if you're an adult and you verify you're an adult, why can't you do adult things? And so I think it's an interesting perspective to have. And it's to what degree do like the AI labs have responsibility, and to what degree should they be the moral police of the world? I don't think they should. Like, should that fall on, and then what's to determine like Sam's company's morality is any different to Anthropic's or whoever else's? So certainly like there is a spectrum though, right? Like they don't today allow you to like, make dangerous weapons or schemas for like bombs or anything like that. So there's a line where they're clearly like, no, this is absolutely what we won't help you with. But up to this point, they've guardrailed it to if you're an adult and you want to use something to do something, there's a spectrum of like what they should or shouldn't enable you to do. And so I think this is them taking that first step towards being a bit more open. And I, for one, prefer a little bit more of that. Whereas, you can use this responsibly. You're an adult. We don't need babysitting here. And so like, let's open it up. But interesting. We'll see what way Google goes. They've been known to go a bit more the opposite extreme on this. Obviously, this is probably the second move, right? I think like XAI were way more down this route before with some of their pictures where like you could really do like whatever you want with their images. So they're kind of following suit. Will Google follow suit as well? Or will they be still censored? I think that's like time will tell. What do you think? Do you think this is a good move by them? Do you think it's bold?
I think it's going to happen. I think you're totally right. Like if you wanted to go look at adult content online, you go do it. Like you can surface it on Google to a certain degree, right? Like if you are an adult, you should be able to go do whatever you want online. Well, to a certain degree, right? I think in 2 years, I don't think this will be talked about as much. Like I feel like it'll get to the same level as just the internet, right? Like AI is now just kind of like the internet. And if you want to go do something on the internet, like there's some really bad stuff on the internet. I don't think it's going to get to that level, but I feel like it has to compare largely to like just what you do on the internet, right? Like what you're looking on the internet.
The training data set is everything on the internet. And,
exactly.
There's a lot of that on the internet. So these models
can already
do it.
Do everything. It's just like, what are the guardrails that you want to put up? I also just read a little bit more. It is unclear whether this extends to voice, video, image, text. They don't talk about it yet, but we will see. And again, I feel like in 2 years, it's just going to be there anyway. Of course, XAI started it. Not shocked, but yeah, we'll see. We'll see. One more thing here, Will, for you. I have another story for you. Waymo's coming to London. Period.
Yes.
Done.
Great news. I think this is really interesting. So, I mean, firstly, it's great that they're expanding out of the US, and, the European nations are definitely known for regulation. And so like how they were able to get this passed, and then also like one of the biggest cities that exists in like London, accepting it shows that like how, I guess, AI forward and future forward London is or is trying to be. So it's really cool that they have been able to court with the regulators in London and kick off this pilot. It is an interesting one. London you weren't there. I was there during the heyday of it. Like London had a really hard time with Ubers originally. So if you've ever been to London, it's kind of like New York. There's a very stereotypical cab. And in New York, it's yellow. In England, it's a black cab. And it's these kind of like bubbly little cars. They're pretty cute. It's not a medallion system, but it's similar. Like, it's very hard to get the cab license. And then when you have it, you go through a test where you like know all of the streets of London. And it's a very formidable role, or at least it was. And so there was a lot of pushback by cabbies for a long time when Uber first came to town. Now it feels like there's going to be a lot of pushback by Uber drivers for the Waymos coming to town. But, we really like Waymos, right? I think you prefer it. I think I prefer it. And so I'm excited when I return home. I can take a Waymo wherever I want to go. That's awesome. I'm sure it's a long way off from pilot, but it's cool that they're kind of nodding to it.
Yep. I mean, it's clearly a superior experience. Like, there's not one person I've heard of that's like, no, I still prefer an Uber. Like, that's just not the case. Have you heard of anyone say that?
No, but in London, I prefer black cabs than Ubers. And they're much better. The real test will be, is the black cab or the Waymo the way forward in the future? And
time will
we'll
tell.
have to put that to its test.
Time will tell. Okay, well, I'm going to wrap us up here with a demo.
Nice.
A demo of a new... Well, I don't know how new it is, but I technically launched this week. It's a new browser. We've had browser wars in the past. I can't tell you if this one's going to be big, small, successful, unsuccessful, but the entire point of it is it's completely like AI agent driven. So I just downloaded it. It's supposed to be able to go do like anything you want. It just drives your browser for you. It's called Strawberry. And I just wanted to try one thing. I opened up a DoorDash menu and I said, can you compile all the items of this menu with all of the modifiers? And
shock horror, that was your test case
yes,
for it.
As you know, if you know Woflow, that's the bread and butter from what we've been up to the last 7 years. Not necessarily what we're doing anymore, but I always like to start off a test with that exact example. So I'm 55 minutes into trying to get one menu, and we are moving at a snail's pace. Let me show you a quick little demo.
Do you get its thinking, its reasoning?
So you open up, I'll show you what this chat is on in a second, but you open up and you have like a couple different characters. So you have Extractor,
Agents.
Ella, agents, yes. You have Laura, I don't know what Laura does. Assistant Astrid, developer Daphne. Okay, you can like add new ones. I immediately opened up
Pork Store.
Pork Store. Love Pork Store. And I said, okay, give me all the items, all the modifiers, etc. And it's driving my browser right now. I'm just going to go off and say the idea is interesting. I don't know how much money I am costing this Strawberry company right now.
I like it says 46 minutes longer than expected. It had an expected time of how long it's going to take this task.
It thought it was going to take 8 minutes, and now we're 46 minutes over. And 22 items done. I mean, this is going to take me like 5 days. I'll let you know. Maybe by next week's Vibe Flow, maybe this will be done and we can show. It's painfully slow.
But it's cool. I mean, the browser company got acquired by Atlassian recently, right? And so there's money to be made here. So people are experimenting with it.
Yep. Hey, I'm all for experimentation. I think this is the future. I don't know if it's in this form, meaning I don't know if it's a browser. I know like Browser Base and some other companies, Browser Base, Hyper Browser or something. They're all focusing on a browser that you're not actually seeing. So headless, and it's in the background, it's doing stuff, but you don't have to actually like watch, and it's not your browser. So it's going this direction. It's going to be all AI driven, but yeah, I don't know like what our form factor will be. Like, how are we interacting with it? Is it going to be like that, like a browser? This is to be seen.
Yeah, and I think what's interesting there is when we think about commerce as well, is there's a number of companies today trying to help merchants with making their websites more readable by bots. So the classic robot.txt was great for Google search, but it's not nearly as extensive enough as if you actually want bots to visit your website to make purchases. And so a few different people, we talked about how Stripe and OpenAI have launched an open source way of purchasing. Websites will get better at being searched and indexed by agents as they go out. And so like it makes sense as an agentic framework. On the other hand, if models are truly going to be AGI and are going to be as good as humans at doing things, like why would a page need to change? It should just be the same page as like that DoorDash page shouldn't be any different. A model should just better handle it like a human does. So yeah, I go two ways about it. I don't know which way it's going to go. This obviously isn't currently the correct form factor for models to interact with it, but is that just because models are not where they're going to be in a few years? Is there going to be a lot of wasted time trying to make two different types of websites so it can be optimized for robots versus humans? Who knows?
Yep. Well, we will see. I was actually going to show one more thing, but it's called Bot ID. It's kind of going on this. Vercel basically has like a invisible CAPTCHA system, so that's becoming a more like well-known concept now. Is like, how do you protect against bots, but how do you also allow them to come in and like essentially SEO, show them what you want to be surfaced on the web? And so there's a lot of new technologies coming out for that specifically. Well,
I think a last note as well, I think next week, hopefully we'll get a review from Jordan on his very own friend. So I'm really excited to learn from Jordan how it's been. We'll hold it right now. Give yourself another week of hanging out with your friend, and then we'll talk about it next week. So look out for that.
We'll be our special guest. There'll be 3 of us on the pod next week. I can't wait. Awesome. Well, good to see you, Will. Thanks, everybody.
Like and subscribe. Thanks, everyone.